Welcome back. Now we will continue with the chapter 1 of CPH. Now we'll see hardware components of desktop and laptop. Now the first is motherboard. As we know, motherboard is the main board, right? Motherboard mounts all the things like processor, RAM, ROM, video card. So next is the processor. The processor of a computer is often called the CPU or the central processing unit. So processor might be Intel, IBM's processor. Okay. Now the next is the memory. Memories are different like RAM, ROM. RAM is a random access memory. ROM is a read-only memory. So these are the memories used to store the data. Now the next is the hard drive. Hard drive, or we can call it as hard disk, is used to store the information. Now the next is the video card. Video card is used to improve the quality of the video. You can externally attach it. Optical drive and the monitor. Monitor is your screen, right? These are the hardware components of desktop and laptop. Now the next is hardware components of tablet. So desktop and laptops hardware components are similar, but the tablet has different hardware components than desktop and laptop. Their first is the accelerometer. Now what is accelerometer? Accelerometer is used to measure the motion and position of the object. Means we can use the accelerator in the tablet or in the mobile to measure the motion of the human, how many kilometers we have ran, like that. Second is the gyroscope. As we know, gyroscope is used to measure the rotation, right? Whether it is portrait mode or whether it is in landscape mode. These are the positions, different positions of mobile. So gyroscope is used to measure the position. If it is in the rotating direction, then gyroscope will measure it. If you move your mobile in the portrait mode, then it will be portrait. Your screen will be portrait, right? So it is used to measure the rotation of the mobile. Next is the graphics processor, used to improve the graphics HD quality. Flash based memory. This is the memory. This is the type of memory which is used to store the data. Next is the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the wireless fidelity. We all know what is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is used to get the internet, right? Next is the USB dock and power supply. So tablet also contains USB dock. For USB's full form is Universal Serial Bus. Universal Serial Bus, and it is used to attach your pen drive, attach your any secondary storage devices, right? Speakers. Tablet also has speakers, inbuilt speakers like your mobile. There is little bit difference between tablet and mobile. So it is similar like mobile. Your mobile also has speakers, right? And the next is a touch screen controller chip. Now tablet is touch screen. So for touch screen it has the controller chip. Now the next we are starting new topic like server. Now the first is a server is a computer or system which provides resources, data, services or programs to other computers, known as clients over a network. Now if we have so many computers in one laboratory, then we will make one computer as a server computer, and then that server computer will provide the resources, information, services to the other computers which is in the same laboratory, and those computers we can call it as a clients. Okay, over a network. Always server works on the network. If all those computers are connected over internet, then only server computer can share the resources to the clients. So network is important. So if we store resources data on server computer, then server computer will share all those information to the client computers. We don't need to copy all the information to every computer. We just have to make one computer as a server computer, and then by that server computer, with the use of that server computer, we can give information to the client computers. We don't need to copy data to all the computers. For that we use server computer. In theory, whenever computers share resources with the client machines, they are considered as a servers. There are many types of server like web server, mail server, virtual server. So there are different types of servers including in the market today, like web server, mail server, virtual server, and each of these have different, uses. So we will see the types of servers. Now types of servers, first is the file server. Now file servers store and distribute files to the multiple clients or users may share files stored on the server. So as I explained, if you store your files on the server computer, then that server computer will give those files, will distribute those files to all the other client computers which are over there on the network, which are there in the laboratory. So we just need to copy our files, we need to store our files to one computer, that is server computer, and that server computer will distribute files to all the all the clients which are there in the laboratory. So this is file server. So that server computer we can call it as a file server. Now the next is the printer server. Now what is printer servers? As its name suggests, it is used for printing purpose, right? So print servers allow for the management and distribution of printing functionality. Rather than attaching a printer to every workstation, a single printer server can respond to printing requests from numerous clients. Means what? If you make one print server, then when you give print from any computer in the lab, then that print server will take a print. We don't need to attach printer to every computer. We just have to make one print server, and then you give print from any computer in the laboratory, and then print will become because of print server. Rather than attaching a printer to every workstation, we just need to make one print server. Okay. Now the next is application server. Now application servers run applications of client computer running applications locally. Application server means what? It contains application. As its name suggests, it might be one application. It contains application, right? So application server run applications of client computer running applications locally. Application servers often run resource intensive application that are shared by large number of users. Doing so removes the need for each client to have sufficient resources to run the application. Means what? If you make one application server, then resources, packages which are needed to run that application will be stored in the application server computer only, and then we don't need to install those resources which are required by the application to every computer. We just had to make one application server, and then those application server will provide application those applications to every client computers. See the last line, it also removes the need to install and maintain software on many machines as opposed to only one. Means we just have to install and maintain software in the one computer which is application server, and those application server computer will share application to every computer. We don't need to install or maintain software to every computer, just make one application server and install it in it. So it provides the application which is used to run application to every computer, but it is installed in only application server. Means that application will be run in every computer which are there, which are the clients of application server. But we need to install application in only in application server, and we can run application in every computer which is client of that application server. Now the next is web server. So what is web server? One of the most abundant types of servers in today's market is the web server. Web server is a popular. A web server is a special kind of application server which hosts the programs and data requested by the user across the internet or intranet. Internet and intranet, what is the difference between internet and intranet? Internet is the public network, intranet is the private network. Web server respond to requests from browser running on the client computer for web pages or other web-based services. For example, what web server simply do? If you request a page, when you type anything in the Google, then that page will become, right? If you type anything, if you search anything on the Google, then that page will become. So how that page will become? So because of web server is giving you a pages which is requested by the clients. Clients are the users like us. We type, we search anything on the Google, and then that information will become on the form of web page, in the form of web page. So that web page will be given by the web server. Client request to the browser any information, and then web server will give us the information. Okay. Now the next is the database server. The amount of data used by the companies, users and other services is staggering. Much of data is stored in the databases. Databases need to be accessible to multiple clients at given time and can require extraordinary amount of disk space. Database servers run database applications and respond to numerous requests from the client. So database server, what database server simply do? As we know, there are big amount of data is available on the internet, right? So that amount of data is stored in the database. Data is stored in the database. Now at a one time, multiple client can request those data, right? At one time, multiple clients, multiple users can search one thing on the internet, right? So database client will respond to all those clients at the same time, right? So this is the use of database server. We store data on the database server, and then database server will provide the information to the multiple clients at the same time. So this is the use of the database server. Like for example, if you buy anything on the Amazon, then that information, that thing is stored in the database server. So at the one time when you search anything on Amazon, then they will provide you the information about that product, right? So at a one time multiple users can search same thing. So database server will give all the users the same information at the same timing. So database server, there are different types of database servers like Oracle, like Microsoft SQL Server, Database 2, Informix. These are the different types of database servers. Now the next is the proxy server. Next and last is the proxy server. Now what is proxy server? This is very important. Every computer on the internet needs to have a unique internet protocol address. As we know, every computer which is connected on the internet has a IP address, right? Think of this IP address as your computer street address. Yes, every computer has different IP addresses. So this is your computer street address, for example. Every computer has different IP address. It is unique. Just as the post office knows to deliver your mail to your street address, the internet knows how to send the correct data to the correct computer by its IP address. Means in how internet knows how to send data to the correct destination? By using that IP address of the computer. By using that IP address, the information which is come to you will be the correct destination, right? Like post office knows, post office should know the address, right? Post office should know the address. Like that, internet's address is IP address. For every user, IP address is different. So a proxy server is basically a computer on the internet with its own IP address that your computer knows. So proxy server is the one server which is on the internet. Now proxy server has its own IP address and our computer knows that IP address. When you send a web request, your request goes to the proxy server first. Means when you search anything on the internet, then when you have proxy server in your computer, then that request, when you search anything, so that request is first go to the proxy server instead of web server. It is first go to the proxy server. The proxy server that makes your web request on your behalf collects the response from the web server. So what is the procedure? When I search anything on the internet, then that thing, that my request will first go to the proxy server instead of web server. This thing first go to the proxy server. Then proxy server will send that request to the web server. So proxy server is a middleware between them. Middleware between the user and the web server. Proxy server is middleware. So first of all, I search anything on the internet. I request one page from the internet. So those requests is go to the proxy server. Proxy server will give that request to the web server and forwards you the web page, and then that web page will be visible to you. So this is the procedure. First you search, first you search the web page, then that web page request is go to the proxy server. Proxy server will request that web page to the web server, and then web server will give information to the proxy server, and then proxy server will give information to you. So proxy server is middleware between user and web server. So what is the advantage of this? When the proxy server forwards your web request, it can make changes to the data you send and still get the information that you expect to see. Proxy server will make the changes and still send you the information which you expect to see. A proxy server will change the IP address, so the web server doesn't know where you are exactly in the world. Proxy server can change your IP address. So web server doesn't know your original IP address. So they don't know where you are exactly in the world. It can encrypt your data, so data is unreadable to transit. Means it is giving you a protection. It will encrypt your data. So no one can hack your data by using your IP address, because proxy server will change your IP address. And lastly, a proxy server can block access to certain web pages based on the IP address. It can block access to the malicious web pages. So this is the proxy server's use. It is used for security purpose. Okay. From this, we have finished the chapter 1. Thank you.